People, even recently, maybe you read the story or heard the tragic story of people in a submersible that went down and it imploded because they didn't have the proper equipment and they perished, they died in that. And maybe that there's an illustration there, right? The deeper you go, the more help you need, the more expertise you need, right? But think about it, the human heart it's almost like, that's why it's so hard to face it. That's why you don't want to do it, because it's like diving in Lake Michigan, in January. It's like, I don't want to do that. It's terrifying, it's freezing, and I'm not going to get very far. If I try and swim, how far am I going to get? This is so hard. There's a parallel the Bible draws between the human heart being like deep waters in Proverbs 20, verse 5. It says, the purpose in a man's heart is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. So God in His grace gives certain people what we call a man of understanding. God gives certain people wisdom and insight to swim down into the shipwrecks of our past, find the treasure that's been buried in that shipwreck, the things that have been lost, that have died, that shouldn't have been lost, that shouldn't have died, that shouldn't have been taken from us, or that we shouldn't have given up. There are people of understanding who know how to do this. They know if it's so deep, they know we've got to take a submersible. And it's got to be built a certain way. We've got certain tools and certain things to do this. And they can work with us to recover the treasure that's been lost. The beauty and the design that God had put in us, it always should have come out, that was repressed, suppressed, hurt somehow. And a man of understanding can help recover that. That's essentially what good counseling, good biblical counseling, that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to swim into those depths, places where we can't go ourselves, where it's so dark, you've got to take a light, you've got to take special equipment, and it takes time. You've got to go back a few times to recover those treasures that have been lost, that shouldn't have been lost.